Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, and here once more in front of Yake, where we continue our rogue. Grinners in the mist. Been practicing us 10 steps this way, because we're about ready to run rings around Captain Milala and her swats. The Yellowjackets has been pressing their investigation to the treasures what was clawed from a maelstrom top, but as you know, we've got our own network of coves, but don't miss not on the going-ons about town. As for the sharp end of the job, it'll be you, me, Underfoot, and the Stray. Let's get down to business, eh? The cab is late for a feast, so I just make sure we are all on the same page for the now. When you get down to it, we have two goals for this job. Bite back them 3 treasures, and mill the coast with clawed them in the first place. You can be sure that the Yellowjackets shrew will be doing their damnedest to beat us to the mark, and seeing as the fate of the guild is at stake, we'd best not drag our due beaters on this one. I say we grapple them baubles before she even lifted anchor, and give her a proper reason to rage against us rogues. You seem awfully keen on this contest all of a sudden, Yeke. Aye, well, here's the thing. I sent me a grievance to the Thalassocracy regarding the shoes challenge, but the paper shufflers don't care a whit as long as one of us gets the job done. So I figured I'd sail with the wind rather than against it. Besides, we wouldn't want to shirk our duties and force poor Captain Milala to blunder about in the scary darkness now, would we? How very gentlemanly of you. Well, them's the cards what we've been dealt with, ain't we? Now, stow your quips and let's hear what you've learned about them bloody treasures already. Aye, the treasures. According to the manifest of a maelstrom vessel, we're looking to bite back the Cerulean Star, the Silver Sorrows, and something called the Black Sarcophagus. Aside from the fancy names, I was able to whittle a few more details. The Cerulean Star, for starters, is a big old blue diamond what shines like, well, like a star, I suppose. When we've got the Silver Sorrows, a pair of earrings what once graced the waddles of a Sultana of Ulda. There's a tale there, but one that don't concern us at the present. Lastly, this Black Sarcophagus thing, I'm afraid that one remained a mystery no matter how much I poked and prodded. In any case, all 3 of these trinkets was recorded as spoils from official privateering raids. Now, as you know, a private will usually sell this planet through a reliable fence. Sometimes, though, holding an auction is the only way to offload goods what is too extravagant or too bleeding rare for the average cult to deal in. Our 3 wondrous treasures fell into the auction-only category. When the bidding began in Aleport, the Thalassocracy weighed in with its ample purse, made some unmatchable offers, then organized a tab for the merchandise to be shipped back to Limsa. And that's where our Mark swooped in and picked the transport clean. I had a few wits with the maelstrom sailors that survived the attack, and they pointed the fingers at the grinning curse. Problem is, not one cult seen hide nor hair of a curse, not to mention the bloody ship since the raid. Sorry I'm late, Yaka, but you will want to hear this. Some of the cargo that was clawed from transport was just found during a routine inspection at the Tagran checkpoint. The Tagran, have a curse made landfall then? And what of the treasures, any mention of them? Not that I've heard, but the jackets ain't done shaking out all the boxes yet. And we'd better get our eyes out there quick like. Desiree, Underfoot, you're fresh for a run, ain't we? Come on, lads. I'll race you to the checkpoint. I believe that is Middle Lanosia, the way over to Lower Lanosia here from Middle Lanosia, the big gate over there. I've won our race. You owe me a pint, Desiree. Japes aside, though, it looks like the Kiwi was right about the cargo. From what I've been able to catch from the SWAT at the gate, it seems a peddler was boned for carrying goods what's known to be aboard the transport. They carted the poor sort away in chains, but the cargo itself is still here. I saw a pair of jackets carrying boxes up that wooden ramp. We need to know what's in them crates. I got a feeling we won't open the gans for the asking, though not while there's food challenges going on. Do you think you could skulk over there and see if they've found them treasures yet? Up here? Up here. It's all junk, no diamonds, no earrings, no bloody black sarcophagus. Looks like you have to lean hard on that skinny peddler if you're to find them treasures. The sergeant said the merchant's still pleading ignorance. Claims he was hired to carry goods through the checkpoint and not else. What a pile of bugle shite. I'm guessing the pirates have split the cargo and trying their luck at every checkpoint. Captain Milala's already given orders to double the guard and inspect every cart and weighing what comes through. So they found naught of value. Bene. Thought we lost the contest before we even properly started. But be it as it may, something don't add up here. Why would you order a carl to carry the goods through the checkpoint? No smuggler is that daft, surely. And even if by some miracle of the gods we skirmed through La Tagran without raising a fuss, why would you risk taking merchandise back to the city, what you collided from? No, there's a bigger picture here, and we need to take a step back to see it. Assuming Curse hired this peddler to do their dirty work, there'll be someone in the shadows as broker to the deal. And I just happen to know a curve that makes what makes it his business to oversee these kinds of shady arrangements. The thing is, this black marketeer bloke changes his horns depending on how the breeze blows. Quite literally, in fact. I seem to recall the navigator's veil being shifted to a westerly this morning, so that put him at Tiller's Rest. Nice and close. Why don't we go ask him a few questions before we head back to the guild? I pride myself on my memory for faces, and yours is unknown to me. Are you an honest customer or an inquisitive annoyance? I must be sure of your intentions. The dance is old, but the name is new. Put away your daggers, rogue. I have peddled my wares to your kind since the upright thief stalked the night. Speak, what would you have of this humble merchant? Still tormenting the calls, Granddad? We've come for information on a smuggling job. There was this peddler what was caught at the La Tagran checkpoint, moving merchandise to the grinning curse. Pleaded innocence when we had the screws put on him. You wouldn't know aught about that deal, would you? Every last sordid detail. Not a single grain of stolen sand passes through the shadows without my knowledge. But such prickly wisdom lodges tightly in one's throat. What have you brought to ease the pain of its passage? Spare me the theatrics, Granddad. He's the usual The sum is paid, the deal is made, and my answer sate your fickle hunger. Your hapless predator was indeed innocent. He was but a beast of burden employed by the associates of the grinning curse, and likely knew not of his freight's tainted nature. A pawn, if you will, a convenient decoy. There are those amongst my acquaintance who specialize in providing such services. Aye, that's what I thought. The curse wanted the cull to get caught. Now the jackals have had a taste, they waste their time gaffling every shite pie what comes through their checkpoints. Meanwhile, the real treasures are hidden away in the darkments along with a grinning curse. Not the darkments, Master Oak. The mist. Aside from the traveling merchant, the cursed associates have spent coin on another piece of this little game. A navigator. One who is practiced in piloting a vessel through the Doxy's pearl. The Doxy... The gods only know how many ships sailed into that fox soup and never came out again. And that's where you say the curse have gone to ground? Now there's a trick that took some bollocks. Once the hunter chap was sitting dimber in the mistral, it would have been easy to have these associates of theirs ferry the junk goods to Lanocea. Then the Kenny curves just needed to wait for the peddlers to get boned and draw the gazes of the Yellowjackets inland. We need to strike now. As soon as we learn the coast is clear, we flee for open waters. A fair appraisal of events. Now that you know the location of your marks, however, it will not be so difficult to track them down. The Doxy's Pool was once an impenetrable shroud, but ever since the calamity, the mists are far less constant. Narrow your search to the heaviest banks, and you will soon uncover those who wish to remain unseen. But now a warning. The mists conceal other dangers besides the dogs you seek. A careless step may land you upon the chopping block. But chopping block? You can't mean... Seems I found myself another lead to look into. You hurry on back to Yaka and tell him what we've learned so far. Okay, Yaka. Report for you. About time, lass. You was gone so long I was sent the stray after you. What happened to Underfoot? So our marks and their bitten baubles are snuck inside the Doxy's pool, huh? I'll not discount the old man's warning, but we may not have the banner chance to crash the culls and grab them treasures. We board the ship right now, you, me, and the Kibbe. I suppose we'll be needing ourselves a tub for the voyage. I'll have a wits with Swassend and see what the dry docks can spare us by way of a ship and a reliable crew. Get your kit together and meet us there. And there's Yaka. Alright, Desiree. I've pulled in some favors and there's a crew that'll get us close enough to scamper aboard the cursed vessel. It'll be cramped up on deck. If we try to mill the whole lot at once, we'll soon find ourselves up against the rails. So we go in quick and quiet and try to knock them off a few at a time. Well, lass, are you eager to test your sea legs? Okay, duty commands. We start hidden. Right, no one seen us what's well. Let's get to work. I think we stab us in the captain. Those two there are yours. Follow me, Desiree. Conjurer. Carpenter. That's a lancer. I don't know how you found us, but we'll never find what's left of you. Yaka, didn't you want to take care of a captain? Slippery bastard, let's see just how quick you are. Open the cave, let your growler off its chain. Okay, I deal with the growler. Screw you. You won't paralyze me. Okay, I found me one of them treasures. Unless there's another fist-sized blue diamond on board, it's gotta be the cerulean star. As for them other two baubles, I've tossed the cabins and been through the whole ilm by ilm, but there's not else here. Well, we'll just have to ask all sweet lag, won't we? Spit it out, Cobb. Where are you keeping the rest of your treasures? You think that's spill me guts for the likes of you, rogue? Maybe you won't at that. But what about this partner you're working with? But yeah, we don't need no partner. So you're telling me this was all your own idea? You woke up one day and decided you'd attack a maelstrom transport right off the coast of Airport then? Then disappear into the loving embrace of a doxy's pull? Not exactly your style, is it? The grinning crows are too bleeding famous for being the crew that turned their snouts up at privateering in favor of keeping to the old ways. You've only escaped the Yellowjackets' grip this long by crawling on your bellies and snatching scraps that fell from the table. You ain't the type to sink your teeth into a Navy-owned vessel, no matter the price. Aye, well, maybe there ain't no profit in being cautious no more. The age of pirates is swift coming to an end. Merrill won't be stopped, no, not by a piddling little crew like mine. That's why we've thrown our lot in with the executioners. That blue rug was just our share of the loot, the scraps from the table, like you said. If you want them other trinkets, then you'll have to take it up with our new mates. One job at a time, lass. First, we need to get these stinking cuffs and that tub back to the docks. Putting aside the issue who gave the orders, there's no doubt that these was the coast that waited the Maelstrom ship. Now for a punishment, what fits the crime? I was informed that a certain well-known pirate ship was spotted weighing anchor at the Moravi dry docks. I assume this was your work? Aye, we missed all the excitement, Captain. But never mind, the cerulean star is back and bob in our sneaky little fumbles. And these must be the grinning curse. Degenerate fiends, how dare you ply your filthy trade in Lominsan waters? How many innocent sailors were massacred that you might sate your vile avarice? Every one of your kind ought to be lined up and shot. A musket ball is the only answer for this rampant display of lawlessness. Wait, do you mean to just execute them here on the bloody docks? At least take the buggers into custody first. Heading them over to you for lawful punishment will satisfy the demands of the code just as well. We've already got the answers to our questions, so feel free to take them away. Do not presume to give me orders, rogue. You only managed to capture these villains and their ill-gotten treasure by employing unsavory and unconscionable means. Why, you're not more than pirates yourself. These bastards ain't worth a true pirate's spit. The upright fleet was formed to protect us from ourselves. No, we're just hunting dogs for the Admiral. Well, the Yanks for legend and never buccaneers disappears. You rogues are traitors to your own kind. If it hadn't been for you... Aye, go on then. Blame me and McCuffs for all your own faults. You knew what you was about when you defied the code. You knew what we'd be after you. We're done here. There's still 2 treasures left, rogue, and I mean to claim them both. I'd reconsider this contest of yours, Captain. Turns out this fish you're trying to hook is a shark, and it might just swallow you whole. Better work on that ship, Desiree. First blood is ours. How do you take to fighting at sea? There are few as can drop an opponent as quick as a rogue, but mind you don't exhaust yourself just flailing your blades at the tougher calls. And that goes double for when you have mates on your flanks. If you notice yourself starting to flag, there's not wrong with pulling back from time to time and striking your attacks with each other to keep the pressure on. I said it for less, but I'll need ears sharp enough to carve steel for what's to come. I'm afraid this will be more of a challenge than even what that little shrew was bargaining for. That's assuming the course wasn't lying about the executioners. The executioners are who I bloody think they are. Betwixt you and me though, I'm hoping the name is just some laughable coincidence. Oh, but Desiree, we've got a job ahead of us, and that's a fact, a rough job. Matters are tangled enough, what with Milala more snapping at our heels, but we still managed to grapple that first trinket without too much fuss. Biting back from other 2 treasures though, that'll be a different story. Once the stray gets here, I explain what, and more to the point, who we're up against. Alright, we've 2 baubles left on the list. The Silver Sorrows and the Black Sarcophagus. Let's see where we're at. Aye, where's Perimu got to? Underfoot, he's still looking to whittle the tail behind that bleeding sarcophagus. We'll not be clawing that stickler until we've at least an inkling as to what the bloody thing looks like. Treasures aside, I've been doing some digging on my own with these executioners allies of a grinning curse, and I'm afraid the name weren't no coincidence. Desiree, you have heard of the bloody executioners, I hope. Seems that curse was feeding from the thimble of one of the nation's greatest pirate powers. This ain't no ordinary crew of cutthroats, lass. Within Limsalominster, the bloody executioners wield a power and influence second only to the Admiral herself. They was not to fund of murder and their prohibition on piracy, and it was only the overwhelming threat posed by the Gallian Empire would eventually convince them to play nice with the philosocracy. But pirates ain't the ones to play nice for long. Now that one-eyed Hilfir ain't around to helm the ship, the solidarity of the bloody executioners has begun to show cracks. All the strongest captains and lieutenants begun to form their own factions, and are scrambling to claim the top chair for themselves. No one bloody cough can agree with another on which way the executioners ought to sail. Among these new factions was a group that is pushing to break free of the Admiral's grip completely. Turns out these reformists, as they call themselves, was the ones that took the grinning curse under their wing. Which means they've got possessed of the last 2 treasures, and we've yet to cloy. Rumors around town say that even for executioners, these curves are bloody and ruthless and not to be crossed. We should sit this one out, Jacke. Piss on Milala's contest, it ain't worth this kind of grief. We'd be inviting the wrath of a crew so large and dangerous that even the Admiral ain't keen on coming to blows with them, if they ever came after us. Large or small, it don't matter. They broke the code when they hit that maelstrom top. Aye, the grinning curs are paying for that crime, but we'd be poor sodding excuses for rogues if we let the real culprits carry on unpunished. I mean to see this job to the end, and that means biting back them treasures and handing out proper justice to them as deserve it. But Jacke! Listen, with all the infighting going on at present, stabbing a short blade into one faction's toe ain't like to bring the whole executioner crew down on our heads. Besides, the reformist buggers are so far split from the main mob that they've been avoiding the city altogether. Now, it's about time we got to work. Desiree, you have tracked down our black market contact. I set him to look into the cur's new allies a while back, so he should have some answers for us by now. The veil was lifted by a sovereignly this morning. That'll put the old man at his haunt in Lower Nanesia. Here, take the sack of blunt and pay visit to the house of Styx. That's kobold territory if you didn't know. And the old man bribes them with ore and hires the biggest and meanest sorts as bodyguards. Just be ready for your approach to be challenged. Okay, this should be this ruined house here. Now, how to get close? Well, okay, it's just level 9, so I don't really need to worry about these normal levels. Now, my third piece of a combo here, the Aeolian Edge, actually does more damage when executed from behind the enemy, but that is hard to do when you're alone. Welcome to the House of Styx, young rogue. You must excuse my hireling's enthusiasm for greeting visitors. Now, have you any cumbersome baggage of which I might relieve you before we begin our conversation in earnest? I have this heavy sack of coin. Could you take it off me? A heavy burden for one of your tender years to bear, but its weight has balanced the scales. The sum is paid, the deal is made. Let us speak of these reformists. This faction has so wronged the cold, now seeks to peddle one of its stolen treasures, the earrings better known as the Silver Sorrows. The deal, it is said to take place at cost of their soul. The buyer, a moneyed merchant from the golden sands of Ulda. The earrings will be out in the open, vulnerable. I would target the moment of a transaction where I so inclined. As the gentleman up there by the cabin appears to be, for he purchased the self-same information. For he attempts to disguise his identity, the stench of a soldier yet lingers. The stench of a soldier yet lingers. I know not where one such as he came to learn of my existence, but I suspect he works for a certain yellow-coated captain. Brave she is, but foolish. Stumble blindly into the underworld, and your groping hands will not save you from the holes at your feet. Sudden shall be your fall. Probably the Kirkian told him, right? Okay. Welcome back, Desiree. What information did the old man have on the reformists? Looking to unload the earrings, are they? And to an Uldan, no less. Can't say that I'm surprised to hear the buyers from our town. You won't find many lumbermen willing to melt coin on autumn coasters selling. Only the daftest of sort would go about funding them as means to pull down the admiral. One of Milala's lackeys arrived at the house for you. How did they know? Them curs we captured must have cackled during the shoes interrogations. We have to assume the Yellowjackets know what we know, and that means we best get our asses to Costa del Sol right bleeding now. I'll handle this one, Yake. You and Desiree can wait here for Perimu. Oi, the Kibi. What the hell is she playing it? After us, she knows this ain't a solo job. Okay, quickly take the ferry here and... talk to the Kibi. I told you that the guild, I don't need... Well, it might be as I could use an extra mod in the shadows after all. Yaki has his mind set on punishing the executioners, but me? I just want to skulk in, claw them silver bits and skulk out. I reckoned if I could manage that with no one the wiser, then they wouldn't know who to come after. Finish the job without drawing me daggers, you know? It ain't exactly true to the code, but the shield of underworld honor won't stop them bloody killers from cutting me mates' throats and setting the sisters a glimmer. The kill's the only place would offer to take in a pirate stray like me, and I'll not see it burned to the ground. The deal's about to start. The saber would when your banner to head in. Alright, here's what we know. The witch merchant was come over from Ulda is some old mate of Master Gegeruju, but Cole as owns Costa del Sol. Gegeruju's taking his guards and dancing delts and pranced off down the beach someplace, giving over the use of the entire resort to his friend. Seems she didn't want an audience for a bargain with the reformists. Which, as it happens, works out well for us. We'll wait until they're busy haggling over price, and snatch her sorrows and hop the twig before they realize aught is amiss. Sounds like a plan? There, the players arrived. The reformers coin counter and the Uldan buyer are setting up on the southeastern platform. The earrings ought to be nearby. Hang about. Who are all those other cults? The place was meant to be empty. I see some nasty looking blokes in Uldan garb and... Are those mammoths? That merchant brought along a whole bloody entourage. I've gone and got ahead of myself. I should have realized this job never be that easy. We have to mill a few of them bodyguards first, I reckon. You don't want to fight through a forest ablaze should you get caught sneaking about on them narrow walkways. Yaka, I thought I'd... Stow your excuses, love. I know full well what you were about. You start going soft on us, though, and it'll be like losing one of my arms. I can't take on the bloody executioners all by myself. It's only cause I got rogues like you and Underfoot and Desiree here, what our guild can take the jobs it does. When our coast walk in the shadows, it's the bleeding pirates what do the trembling. Remember that, the Kibi. We ain't some two-girl robbers what piss their breeches and their daddles are caught in the honeypot. We are the knives in the darkments, and no bastard wants to go blade to blade with the likes of us. I see you've not changed my mind then. We need all the stabbers we can get, and I promise mine will be there when you need them. Bene, now let's carve a path to that platform and bite back an earring. The Kibi, you hide yourself down by the docks in case the marks escape during the fighting. Desiree, you and me split up and mill the guards as we go. It's them puppets as concerns me most, as I suggest you crush them little buggers before they can spring any rum fun. Creep in as close as you dare, and give them a good old solid cloud from behind. Aye, it ain't the most original strategy, but that don't make it any less lethal. Once they're done with the first group, split back into the shadows and move on to the next. Not to it, eh? I'll head over to the back, where you start from the front. Let's wrap this up before the jackets blunder in and scare off our marks. This is made of solid rock. Get over here and start chipping. Okay. Now. The little guy needs to go down. For them earrings. Now for them earrings. It's a private meeting. Remove these rats at once. Another cat, no? Rogues? Don't mention aught about rogues. What the hell do you think you're doing? I'm conducting a business transaction on the behalf of a bloody executionist. Do you understand what this means? Do you know what I do to you? I am all afraid, odd then, that you're the one who's shaking. It don't matter much to me who you work for. Your bosses broke the code and we're here to collect. Those be the silver sorrows then. I'm sure you'd pay the caravan a coin for them shiny baubles, but I doubt they're worth your life. Let's have them, man. Wait, damn you! You should know that this personage is an extremely influential member of the East Aldenar Trading Company. Surely you have heard of it? If a threat of reprisal will not stay your hand, consider the political ramifications of interfering with a foreign dignitary. The Admiral would not desire you to damage Limsa's relations with Ul'dah. Yes, exactly. I'm very highly placed in Ul'dah society. I have powerful friends who would not be pleased to mistreat me in any fashion. And you must understand the silver swords are a historical treasure, a gift once bestowed upon Sultana Nanasha Ulnasha by her champion. The earrings were later stolen from the royal vault and we lost hope of ever recovering them. But I might so easily purchase them. Thus, it's a miracle. The return of these trinkets will be That is to say, the Saurus must be returned to Ulda. Can you not look the other way for the sake of my nation's pride? You must think me some dull-witted fuck. If this deal was being made on behalf of a country, then why are you sneaking about and consorting with pirates? An excellent point. One might doubt your quality of character were you to continue with these feeble fabrications. You need only entrust those earrings to me, should you truly wish to see them returned to Ulda, that is. After all, it was to fulfill that very purpose that the thalassocracy bid on the Saurus in the first place. Bit late there, aren't you, Captain? I think you'll agree this one belongs to us. On the contrary, my dear scoundrel, I made the winning move the moment I knew we were dealing with a merchant of Ulda. I come bearing an official order of seizure authorized by the Admiral herself. You will not be harmed, but I must insist that you cooperate with this reclamation of unlawfully obtained goods. Though Costa del Sol is private property, it is nevertheless lies within state-governed territory. Come along quietly, and we need not inconvenience Master Garuju any further. These suspects will be taken into Yellowjacket custody, and do not concern yourself with the Silver Saurus. They'll be quite safe with me. Well, I'd say she has the better hand here, as frustrating as that is. I heard the news from Yaka. Don't think that we had much choosing side with Milala though. Probably just eager to reclaim the Silver Saurus. Anyway, that bit about them earrings being clawed from a royal vault turns out to be true. Seems some famous burglar went after them once he heard about the godlike agility they was said to bestow upon the wearer. The hell's take that carony-colored harpy. We might as well have handled the thing on her on a velvet cushion. I'll go find Underfoot and help him with his diggings. There's still that last treasure out there, and you can be sure the reformers won't be giving it up without a fight. Ah, you do that. Better luck to you, love. Ah, there you are. You left before events had truly been decided, and I thought you deserved to know the score. The Uldan merchant has acquiesced to our request and surrendered the Silver Saurus into our keeping. We've also apprehended the reformer's accountant, and will be holding him for further questioning. Oi, boning an associate of a bloody executioners? You Yellowjackets don't flinch from your duty, I'll give you that. And what's this I hear about you buying information, Captain? I thought you'd sooner die than associate with elements of the underworld. I will do what I must to stay ahead in this challenge, and that Marketeer's knowledge was vital to the case. 'Tis true I might find his practices distasteful, but he is no pirate. It's a fading era of piracy which I mean to consign to the history books. That chapter will never be fully closed until every pirate-spawned relic, including you and your guild, becomes a thing of the past. Valiant and forthright, these are the words by which the Yellowjackets live. It is the manner in which we protect Limsa Lominsa. I swore an oath on the graves of my sisters. No more shall the innocent suffer at the hands of these savage buccaneers, these unrepentant killers. And a grand oath it is. Me, I've got me fumbles full just keeping the code intact. But the code is a kind of oath too when you get down to it. And since I've sworn to uphold it, I have no intention of stepping aside and letting you trample all over me and me calves. In fact, you'd be better off giving in now before matters get proper serious. Just say you're sorry, admit defeat, and we'll leave it at that, huh? Your audacity knows no bounds. I'm done wasting words. I shall reclaim that last treasure, and then I will look on victorious as your guild is dismantled brick by brick. That's the spirit, Captain. Just don't forget to keep an eye on them earrings. The city's crawling with rogues, you know. You could keep the Saurus in a bloody lockbox in a cold tower, or look away for a moment and one of me cows will bite from beauty's right back. Come on, Desiree, it's time. It's back to the sisters for us. Well, after all that hard work, the shrew made off with its spoils. And as far as that goddamn contest goes, I suppose what makes us even. It'll be the last treasure, this black sarcophagus that decides the victim. Whatever the reformists are doing to keep it Bob, you can bet your grandmom's teeth there'll be some blade work needed before this job is done. Get yourself ready and proper scrap, Desiree. Okay, but I believe I make a cut here and we continue another episode.